What is up, everyone? Guys, listen up. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the new footage of Endgame of PoE 2. This is some crazy footage, by the way. Like, we're pretty much getting so much information before the launch of the game that it's incredible. And this also shows that they are very confident in their game. A lot of the games don't show you so much footage before the launch, right? So this is great news right here. By the way, this is from Open World Gaming. I'm going to drop the link to his channel in the description. Make sure to check him out. Show some love. He always brings very, very interesting news and content in general. In the next few days, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for PoE 2 early access. We're going to be giving away a few keys. So if you don't want to miss out on that opportunity, make sure to be subbed to the channel. We're going to be announcing the start of the giveaway very soon. And then obviously I'm going to be announcing the winners as well. Let's get right into it.
Now, the first 3 acts of PoE 2 take around 25 hours to complete.
25 hours.
This is already longer than many campaigns in other games.
Yep.
On the other hand, people spend hundreds of hours in Endgame. We realized that finishing the rest of their campaign for early access instead of working on Endgame would actually be a very bad idea. So instead of having acts 4 to 6 in early access, it's much better for us to concentrate on Endgame and make that great. If you're a new player, a 25-hour campaign is already a huge game with plenty of content. But if you're an existing action RPG player, then what you're going to care about is the endgame challenges that you have to complete.
The fact that they understand this is phenomenal news for us, guys. Finally, a company and devs that understand, okay, it's all about endgame. That's where the fun needs to be.
If we'd launched with a double-length campaign and a bad endgame, we'd effectively have to say, hey, trust us, a good endgame is coming later.
True.
But if we launch with a 25-hour campaign and a great endgame, then people can easily understand what's coming when we say, oh, yeah, and there's 3 more acts coming really soon.
Huge dubs.
Now, in early access, there are 50 bosses currently and around 400 monster types. But effectively, the game is going to double in size during early access and to be
50 bosses in early access and 400 enemy types, dude.
6 acts with 100 bosses and around 800 monster types.
That's crazy.
Now the great thing is the rest of the game is like 80% there, and so we'll be adding content very quickly during early access, and so you can expect to see a lot of that coming really quickly.
Huge shot.
Now, in order to make the endgame happen at the same player level, we've had to add a second difficulty called Cruel difficulty, where you repeat the campaign with all the monsters and bosses harder, but also better rewards. If you sort of look at it in traditional game terms, you can think of it as a kind of like new game plus type thing.
Now, for all the people, if you guys are thinking, why would I want to do the campaign again? Also keep in mind, this is a new difficulty, and he already explained why they're doing it. But the cool thing is going to be you're going to be much stronger after your first playthrough. It's just going to be much stronger. So the second playthrough, I would assume, is going to be much faster as well. And on top of that, you're getting better rewards. So I like it. I can't wait.
But we've actually made quite a lot of changes to the game throughout as well, which you'll probably enjoy as well. And that'll take you to around level 65, which is where the end game begins.
Okay.
So let's talk about what the end game is.
We're going to be rushing 65, chat.
There are many different in-game grinds. One of the things that's kind of really important is that people feel like they've got a choice between many different types of activities in the in-game.
Yes.
So for PoE 2, at the start of early access, we're going to have 8 primary in-game grinds that you can do, all of which have their own sort of systems for leveling them up, improving them, unique rewards, player power that you can get only from them. And we're going to introduce the first 2 of them right here during the campaign, which are the Ascension trials. So the Ascension trials in Path of Exile 2, you do encounter them in the campaign to start with, but then they level up all the way to endgame and they have interesting mechanics. So this first one here is called the Trial of the Sekimas, and it's actually a sequel to Sanctum League from PoE 1.
So keep in mind, guys, these trials are where you get your ascensions, right? So you're going to want to do this as soon as you can, right? You just get in there, try to finish the trials and get your ascension, because that is essentially what's going to change your gameplay completely and make your class have even more identity, because those skills are going to be crazy, right? They've
done quite a lot of sequels to leagues from PoE 1 with new mechanics and new stuff, but all of them have new things going on. So basically, in order to the Trial of the Sekimas is a place where the Maraketh came to be tested and gain power. In order to gain entry, you need a coin containing the soul of a djinn, and then once you put it in the relic altar there, then you can enter and start playing.
Nice.
Now, the trial is made up of various different rooms, and it works a little bit like a roguelike type encounter system, where effectively you pick each room, and then within each room there's a different challenge. Okay. This one is a ritual trial, I think, which has these monster summoners. So they're effectively summoning monsters, and you want to be able to kill those as fast as you can to complete the room.
Okay, so like a speed run, chat. It's going to be like a speed run here. And all these rooms are going to be different from each other. Essentially, I'm guessing when you fully finish the trial, you get to your Ascension. and you get to pick it.
That one was relatively easy. So once you've completed the room, you can go into the next room to get your reward. Now, in this case, we have a silver key. Keys can be used at the end of the trial to be able to get rewards, but effectively you have to be able to survive the entire trial to be able to claim them.
Okay,
now, this
so
is
that's
the map
all the rooms
for the trial,
map. Okay.
and you can effectively pick what type of room you'd like to go to next. There are a few different issues. One of them is that the next room will have a type, so for a type of trial. For example, here's an hourglass trial, and it also has a type of reward. But also some of them have boons or afflictions that might get you. So this one says, for example, when you enter it, that it'll afflict you with blunt sword on entry, which means you and your minions deal 40% less damage. We probably don't want to do that as a minion build, but they have better rewards in exchange for that.
Okay.
So once you've picked your room, you can go and do the next one.
So it's kind of like pick your poison kind of thing, as long as you want better rewards, right? Which
now,
is
this one's
phenomenal.
a time trial. You have to survive for and kill all the monsters. Now, one thing that I didn't mention at the start of this is that unlike in the normal game, if you take hits in this mode, then you're going to lose a resource called honor. If you run out of honor, then you have to leave the trial.
Restart it.
So effectively, you want to really try and play these runs as hitless as possible. And that means that all the monsters we've selected usually have to be avoidable in some way, have dodgeable mechanics. And that's sort of why Octavian is playing as safely as he
So essentially what he's saying, chat, is that if you fail this, it's a skill issue. Get good.
possibly can here. He doesn't want to get too close to the boss or that monster there because he doesn't want to lose honor.
Do we see the honor number somewhere? Or am I tripping and I
Oh,
don't
yes,
see?
it is. Okay. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay, move on.
All right, so once
Next
the trial's complete, once again, you can go and get the reward, which in this case is a bronze key again, because we picked one that had the same reward. We'll do one more. So that one's a sacred water fountain, the chalice trial.
Or it's a sacred water
Yeah, sure, let's do
fountain.
it. All right, cool.
Okay.
The next one's called a chalice trial. Effectively, there's a blood chalice here, which you need to fill with blood by killing rare monsters in this area. Once you've killed all the rare monsters, you can continue.
Okay.
Now there are a lot of different rooms in the trial. There are around 70 in level 1, and they're random what you get each time. So you should expect each run to feel quite different, and the kind of stuff you can expect to find, the kind of boons and afflictions you get, the monsters that you'll face, this kind of thing. All of these are very different. And there's also 4 floors as well. This is just the first floor. Each floor looks different and has different mechanics, rewards, and so on as well. So there's quite a lot of content here. And once again, like I said, there's got to be ways as well for it to sort of expand.
Like imagine you kill these guys, whichever like enemy this is, and then they're gonna be your minions, bro. Like you can summon any of these guys as long as you turn them into specters. That's just insane.
Into Endgame, have more, have ways to expand it and ways to make it both more damaging and more.
That is wild to me. Just the thought of that is crazy to me, man. So you just keep clearing until you get to the very end of the trials. And once you do,
Where's that other rare?
you get your Ascension. I wonder which Ascension they're going to pick up here. I don't know which one to do. I actually like the one with the Hellhound. Because if I understand correctly, the Hellhound takes damage for you, which imagine the survivability is going to add.
And once again, you can get the reward you picked, which I believe was Sacred Water in this case. So Sacred Water is a resource that you can use throughout your run. Effectively, it's a currency that can be used in a shop that you can find throughout the run as well.
Oh, there it is.
Water is obviously a very
160.
hard resource in the desert. So in the interest of time, what we're going to do now is skip to the last room in this floor of the Sanctum.
Oh, let's go.
Which is a boss room.
Boss room, chat. Let's go. We're skipping to the last room. Boss room. Come on, baby.
All right, so here we have Rattle Cage.
I'm not gonna go outside, chat. Like this is it for my social life completely. We're done. We're cooked. Can you turn these kind of bosses into your minions? That's the question I have. I don't think so, right? Probably like elites. The animations are so clean. Oh, look at that. They resummoned on their own. You don't even have to worry about the minions. They just pop up. The damage is pretty nice from the minions, to be honest. Like, these are your basic, you know, kind of minions. This isn't anything crazy. We don't see any crazy summons, nothing. Just the basic main minions over here. I do see, I think the purple glow, I might be tripping here. No, I don't think that is. I think it is actually. If you see the debuff under, yeah, it's gone. It was, yeah. So the witch is debuffing the enemy. Whenever you see that purple, that's the debuff. There we go again. I'm pretty sure that's the debuff. They also summoned a lot of poison arrows there. While the boss walks into it and at the same time is weakened, he's gonna be taking way more damage, as you guys can see right there. The dodge looks clean as well. The roll, sorry. Looks clean. The stagger meter is up, which means that he is staggered. Oh, look at that. A lot of damage doing the stagger. Woo! I like it. I love it. Let's see the Ascension though, guys.
So that's the boss of the end of the first floor of the Sanctum, but there's lots more bosses in Sanctum to find. As I said, there's multiple floors. They each have interesting things. Now, at the end of each floor, you'll get the ability to pick from various different chests. The keys that drop give the ability to open these caches here. So you want to pick which one because each of them have different types of rewards in them.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that you get to do here is use the Altar of Ascendancy. Now, unfortunately, we forgot to reset the Ascendancy class, so you're not going to be able to see the list there when we did the thing before. But effectively, once you've the first time you use the Altar of Ascendancy, you get to pick between 3 different Ascendancy classes. In early access, there's only going to be 2 available for each class, and we're going to be adding the rest later. And those give you interesting things that are only available to your class because no other class gets those things on the passive tree.
Nice.
Now, with Ascendancy classes in PoE2, have really tried to do a lot better in terms of how interesting the things are. For example, this particular class, and because I can't see the name on the screen, I forgot what it's called. Infernalist, right? It's got some pretty interesting abilities. One of them here is called the Hellhound.
There we go.
So this one gives you the ability to summon a Hellhound. When you summon it, it has a few abilities. One of them is that it sets everything next to it on fire. It's a minion, so because we're a minion class, this can be really useful. Nice. But also it takes damage for you. Every time you take damage, it gets transferred to the Hellhound. So, you know, he's a really good boy.
That would be
another
safe
one
for
that's really
survivability.
Is that if we just respec quickly away from that, is turning into a called demon form. So when you use demon form, you turn into a demon. While you're a demon, you lose life constantly, but you also have much higher spell damage and much faster cast speed. The longer you survive, the higher those numbers get. So you know, but you're going to continuously take damage. So you're probably
so essentially, if you want to go into this form and deal as much damage as possible, what you want to do is have some kind of life steal or build up life in general, so you can stay alive very, very long. And then your DPS keeps going up and up, right? That would be the best way to build around it.
If you're going to use this, you probably want to do a build that involves getting high life regeneration in some manner.
There we go.
So you can survive as long as possible and do a large
amount of, makes sense. I mean, that makes sense, chat. That makes sense.
So that's an example, just 2 nodes from the Infernalist. But of course, you know, there's lots of interesting nodes there. And you're going to want to ascend, get more points by doing more Ascension trials. And, you know, continue to get more player power. Now in PoE2, you actually, all of the Ascension trials, oh, that's right, sorry, we haven't even finished this one yet. All right, hang on, where was I? All right, that's right. Okay, so let's talk about how this extends into Endgame. So effectively, as you go through this trial, you might find items called relics. And relics are these items here, which can be crafted. You can see an example of a blue one here. This one says monsters have a 4% chance to drop double sacred water and gain 16 sacred water at the start of the trial. Now, these are ways that you can effectively improve your odds as you go through, but there's some pretty interesting ones as well. Let's have another look at another couple. Bosses deal 4% reduced damage. These ones are very low level and simple, but they can get quite powerful. If you click on the relic altar before you start your run, put a coin in, then you've got these slots here that you can put the relics in, and you can also unlock more slots by doing more, by doing this more, in order to be able to put more in. There are also
Nice,
unique relics, like for example, this one here that says that the boss at the end of the entire trial will drop a specific unique item, but your maximum honor is 1, which means you can take exactly 1 hit, which means that you need to do a hitless run in order to be able to get that unique. So there are lots of other interesting unique relics that do other things. You know, the ability to extend this and get into endgame is pretty high. And one of the reasons you're going to want to do that is because like all of these different endgame mechanics, there's unique player power that only comes from it. So in this particular case, we have jewels.
Dude.
Jewels are coming back in PoE 2 as well. You can see an example of one of them here. These are things that you can socket into your passive tree to be able to get more stats. So this one says 15% increased maximum energy shield, and minions have plus 7% to all elemental resistances.
Nice.
Now, because of the fact that you can roll these yourself and stack them, there's some pretty interesting things you can do with jewels. And there's also jewels that have other kind of random and weird effects. Like for example, this one here says upgrades. Says that 25% increased effect of small passive skills and radius.
Wow.
So this one actually
that's
modifies
cool,
the other
that's
skills on the
cool.
passive tree to improve them. You know, with some interesting things and some interesting overlaps, you can do some pretty cool stuff with those as well. There are, of course, unique jewels and other things going on, and I won't go too much into it, but effectively, this does scale all the way in game, has uniques, has ways to scale it, and a lot of interesting things you can do.
Dude, just think about all the crazy things that you can do from what we've seen right here, dude. All the crazy combinations, all the crazy builds, skills. It's gonna be absolutely insane. I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. We're most likely gonna start off with the witch, and then maybe in the future play some, you know, sorcerer, maybe warrior. I don't know. I'm literally gonna be trying all the classes with time, but first we're most likely gonna start off with the witch, create a tons of builds, turn a lot of enemies into our summons and minions. And once again, do not forget about the giveaway that is gonna take place. You don't want to miss out on that chance if you're trying to get into early access. If you guys did enjoy this quick video, drop a like, drop a sub. Once again, thank you so much for all the love and support. A lot of content is on the way. As always, stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one. I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh, we got no scoped.